Hi, I'm Matt Farr, and welcome to my slideshow presentation on the benefits and challenges of a raw food diet. There is certainly a big trend towards raw food diets at the moment, with more and more people learning of it and starting on their raw food journey. But the big questions are, is it right for you? What are the benefits, and are there any drawbacks or challenges? These are some of the questions I hope to answer throughout this slideshow. So first, let's get clear on what a raw food diet is. Well, it's exactly what it says on the tin. Eat raw. It means avoiding all processed foods, eating only whole, natural foods, not cooking and avoiding pasteurized or roasted foods such as pasteurized dairy, pasteurized fruit juice, raw roasted nuts and seeds. A food is considered raw if it has not been exposed to heat above 118 degrees Fahrenheit, as the enzymes and the nutrients in the food are destroyed at such temperatures. Essentially, a diet classified as raw is 75 to 100% is when 75 to 100% of the food consumed is raw. It is also quite typical for those that follow such a diet to adopt other new diet and lifestyle habits. These may be intended to improve, are likely to be intended to improve health and well-being in many other ways. There is also a great variation in how raw food principles are applied and in the types of food eaten. Some people are very strict on eating raw food 100% of the time, and the others a lot less so. There also exists a lot of variations and ideas within the raw foodism. Some people eat dairy, whilst other people don't. Some eat grains, whilst others don't. Some eat legumes, whilst others don't. Some eat superfoods, also juicing. Many dehydrate their food. Sprouting is commonly used. There's also different variations within the type of raw food diets. Common themes might be alkaline type diet, food combining, fruitarianism, vegetarianism or veganism, and also the consumption of raw meat. If you watch my other slideshow, which is what type of raw food diet will work best for you, then you'll learn a bit more about each of these areas, what's involved, how they, the pros and the cons of each area. For now though, I'm going to look at the benefits and the challenges of following a raw food diet in general. So the first big benefit is higher enzyme levels. Now, enzymes enable life to exist. Without them, we would not be here. As we age, our body becomes more and more depleted of enzymes, and it is this depletion that is largely responsible for the aging process. The less we deplete our enzyme levels, and the more we replenish them, the healthier we'll remain. So cooking, as I mentioned earlier, will raise, cooking above temperatures above 118 degrees Fahrenheit has been shown to kill the enzymes in food, and for this reason raw food offers huge benefits over cooked or processed foods, since they will have this much higher of enzyme content because the food wouldn't have been destroyed. You'll also find that specific minerals and vitamins are required in order for enzymes to function. And because raw food diets are much higher in vitamins and minerals, this will also help to improve enzyme activity and counter any depletion in enzyme levels in your body. So raw foods have much higher levels of vitamins and minerals, as I said a moment ago, as well as much higher levels of enzymes. So obviously that brings us on to the next point, where vitamins and minerals are found in much higher quantities. And just like with enzymes, above 118 degrees Fahrenheit, vitamins and minerals are often killed or destroyed in the food. This isn't true of all vitamins and minerals, but certainly a large portion of them. So again, raw food will contain much higher levels of vitamins and minerals. It will also contain much higher levels of antioxidants and phytonutrients, or phytochemicals as they're also called. Now, phytonutrients are a classification of mini nutrients or micronutrients that are found in food that we don't know a great deal about, but what we do know is that they have an important role in our health and in the successful absorption and utilization of the vitamins, minerals, fats, proteins and carbohydrates that are also found in our foods. There are hundreds if not thousands of phytonutrients found in raw food, which are largely destroyed by processing and cooking. You also find that antioxidants, which provide us with protection against oxidative damage or free radical damage, like phytonutrients, the levels are significantly reduced by cooking and processing. The next benefit is less free radical damage. Now, free radicals are atoms or groups of atoms with an unpaired number of electrons. This makes them highly reactive, and once formed they can start a whole chain reaction, a bit like dominoes, which then leads to damage to the body and your health when they react with important cellular components, such as things like DNA or the membrane of cells. Free radicals, alongside enzyme deficiencies, are the main cause of the physical degeneration of the body. One of the most common causes of free radicals involves the interaction of oxygen and certain molecules. This is a process known as oxidation, and in this regard, oxygen can be both our friend and our foe. It keeps us alive and kills us at the same time. If you were to peel an apple and leave it out in the air, the process of oxidation is what turns it brown. So the formation of rust on metal is another example of that. We can reduce the amount of free radical damage and thus the effects of aging and physical degeneration by reducing our exposure to free radicals and increasing those things that neutralize free radical damage. So there are specific enzymes that we have in our bodies, as well as antioxidants, that are our main means by which we neutralize this free radical damage. So it's not to say that all free radical damage is bad for our health, but in some instances, it's actually used to our advantage. A good example of this might be the immune system, which actually uses free radicals to help combat infections. So our aim here really is to not only increase the antioxidants and enzymes in our bodies, but also minimize our exposure to free radical damage. And since processing and cooking foods actually